Hi, I'm Jaimee Rose and welcome to our new YouTube channel. We're starting with something small, Project Blow Your Mind in Gilbert, Arizona, which is the biggest house anyone's ever seen. Come on in. Project Blow Your Mind is a single-family home in Gilbert, Arizona that we have been working on along with AFT Construction for 5 years. And it's finished and we're so happy. So it's about 4 acres, 3 buildings, I think. They keep adding them. I think we're at 3 now. And we have about 13 bathrooms, 9 bedrooms, a trampoline barn, a skate park, a lazy river, 4.5 kitchens. I think you're getting the picture, right? It's a little bit big. Right now, we're here in the entry, and this is where everyone comes in through the world's biggest pivot door, and the clients asked us to make it feel like a little bit European and a little bit like an old house made new. So we went with a lot of antique pots that gave her remembrances of her Greek vacation. And then to make it an old house that feels new, we really brought the texture in. We don't have any drywall in this house, very little, which was really a challenge for many reasons. But in this room, we have stone walls, we have board-formed concrete walls, and then we have beautiful soft Venetian plaster walls, and then of course, glass walls. And then in the entry, we went with a beautiful planked wood ceiling that runs right through that glass door onto the front portico, which is a really beautiful way to take your eye outside, which is the goal of all these houses we're all designing now anyway, right? And then on the floors, we did 9-inch plank to make it feel as elevated as the rest of the house is. And then of course, the furniture softens everything up. Welcome to the gym. Now this is quite an epic home gym, but the gym is a really big part of our clients' life and it was really important to them. The #1 request that the clients had for their gym was that it be soundproof because the master bedroom is next door and no one wants to get woken up with weights being dropped on concrete. So this gym has board in place concrete walls with knockouts. So there's soundproofing #1. And then all throughout, the contractor added extra insulation. And then we did this gorgeous brick textured wall to make it feel like an old house made new. And then come here, I'm gonna show you my favorite little thing in the gym because it has nothing to do with working out. But this is the juice bar and it is so cute. So we have a built-in hamper and then towels, weights, water station, all the things that you'd need after working out. This is the bunk room. It sleeps 12 people, 3 tiers of 4 bunk beds, but I have a little secret. If you keep on walking, I'll show you. If you head up this ladder, there's a sleeping loft above that probably sleeps 20 people, but in bunk beds, because we couldn't fit beds up the stairs. But we did a lot of thoughtful things in this bunk room to make it really functional for kids. First of all these stairs are drawers. And then if you notice, each bed has a little niche with an outlet in it. So you can charge all those iPads and get all that screen time dialed in at bedtime. And no one will come out to find mom. So I'd like to take a minute and introduce you to my amazing team because nobody designs a house like this alone. And we had so much help. This is Joanna Sessions. She was a key part of phase 1 of this project, which was the build, which as you can imagine was staggering. Joanna also helped us design the incredible floating roof to the tune that she actually even drew it in 3D and showed the architect what we were after. So we can give a lot of credit to that, to Joanna. And then Shae Upton, also one of our incredible designers, really worked with us through the process of the build. She worked hand in hand with the builder to make sure questions were answered, light fixtures were delivered, technical drawings were coordinated, and then when the clients redesigned the kitchen for the 3rd time, which they did do, Shae helped us get all of those specifications dialed in. And then she worked hand in hand with our purchasing director, Alessandra Noriega Shiki, to make sure that we had all of the beautiful furnishings that you see here today. Okay, Joanna, what is your favorite thing in this room, the master bedroom?
Oh, I think it has to be the Philip Jeffries wallpaper. It adds so much texture and interest to the room. For sure, that's my favorite.
Shae, tell me, what was the hardest thing to pull off in this room?
The hardest thing was this beautiful old fireplace that we had to make sure fit a new opening here, and it turned out really good.
That's right. It's an antique, like French limestone, gorgeous surround, and fit right in. Like magic, like we didn't work our rear ends off to make that happen. Before we go through the world's biggest barn door into the primary bath, I wanted to tell you about what the hardest thing was for me in this suite. When we have rooms of this scale, with 2 beds, 2 sofas, we had to find an appropriately scaled light fixture, and that is not easy to do. This one is from RH, Restoration Hardware. It's white plaster and really beautiful. And I know everyone's going to want to know what kind of tree this is. It is living, it is real, and it is called a Ficus Audrey. This is the primary bath where the clients gave me a challenge in that they said, no bathtub. And I was like, but we need it a focal point. And they were like, yeah, no bathtub. So the architect helped me out by giving us this ginormous shower with a floating plinth roof. And then we upped the ante with gorgeous waterworks, regulator faucets, and showers, which I would love to just run away with. And then we decided to really lean into that clean aesthetic that the homeowner was excited about. And the shower walls are actually Cadillac plaster instead of tile, which yes, it's waterproof. You can do it, but you need somebody really talented. So we had that, which is great. And then we carried the plaster right over onto the vanities, and it sort of frames the cabinetry, which you can see. Burdette Cabinets did the cabinets for us, and they did a beautiful job. And then everyone wants to know about these amazing mirrors behind me, which I agree they're fabulous. We designed them, they're custom. We can't buy them from a store, but they're great. However, the light fixtures are by Troy Lighting, if you're in love, like I am. And then of course, we have the amazing waterworks regulator faucets to match the showers. So we really needed things to fill the walls and fill this cavernous bathroom space. And so we designed this gigantic towel rack, which I think is great. It has function and form all in one. And then follow me this way. I'm going to show you one of our favorite little treasures here, which is this beautiful outdoor retreat that we designed for our clients. It has 4 chaises so they can hang out. It's fully private, so that the landscaper is not going to come in while they're in the shower. But it's a really beautiful place for them to gather with each other at the end of the day and just enjoy the sunset. This is the great room at Project Blow Your Mind, and a large part of the reason why we call it Project Blow Your Mind, because it has 2 seating areas, 2 kitchen islands, and this incredible floating ceiling with 360-degree glass. In the great room, we divided it in 2, or actually the giant fireplace divided it in 2, which worked out. 1 half we did for conversation, and 1 half we did for television watching. And yes, it's true, all designers hate televisions, and I am the president of the I Hate TVs fan club, hate them. But we tried to make it look okay by suspending it with steel straps, so that helps, I think, make it look a little cooler. And then the metal cabinetry around it sort of helps it blend in and go away. Blech. The light fixture was imported from Bali. It's enormous, which made me love it, but it also adds a lot of great woven texture. And yes, this is a sectional with hidden headrests for the television. So this is like all the things I don't like in one room. But I will say, I think this is pretty good looking for a sectional that also hides recliners. And it is by a company called Forehand. So in the great room, we have the fireplace. And Joanna to tell us about how it came to be. What do you remember about when we were designing this crazy thing?
So I think I first put it into our rendering software SketchUp, and we set it at a certain height, and then I'd show it to you and you said, I think it needs to get up higher, and that happened quite a few times because we realized just how tall the room actually was until we ended up how it is now and can fit a few people inside of it if you try it.
I think that Joanna could stand in it comfortably. And I remember when we were trying to figure out the ceiling, and the architect sent us over a design plan that just had like this weird little small window at one end of the gable. And we were like, no, 360 glass. Yeah. And then what did you do to try to make that come true?
So yeah, we added the 360 glass in the rendering and tried to decide like how many breaks there should be in the glass and how the beams should tie into it at the ceiling, and
how high like the metal portions had to be to accept the beams. I think Joanna helped us design the metal tie rods and showed the architect and all of the structural engineers what we wanted to do. Yeah. So before all these men made this ceiling awesome, Joanna drew it in 3D and showed them how to do it. We're bouncing around here. We're keeping it fresh and fun. But I don't know if Shae is yet ready to recover and talk about the light fixtures above us. Are you ready to talk about them?
We can talk about them.
How many years of your life did they take up?
At least one.
At least 1 year is gone because of these.
Yes.
They were so tough.
They were.
You ready to share like what we went through to make this happen? No one ever do it. Don't do it.
I can share. So we started with 7 beautiful basket pendants that did not come pre-wired. So it was my task to find somebody who could wire them. And as you see, their cords are very, very long. So that was a task to get the chain for it, the down rods, and get all of the heights placed. And then once we got them up, we realized we needed a few more.
And these were like one of a kind things.
Yes.
Like it wasn't like we could call the store and be like, do you have more?
Yeah.
Because we did call the store and they did not have more.
No.
So then you found these other fixtures.
Yes.
Had them refinished to match.
Yep.
And then you had to call your good friends.
Yes, and so the people that helped us the first time get these wired, we had to call them back and ask for a little favor, and they helped us out, and here they are, and they look beautiful.
And that's not even the hardest part. The hardest part was figuring out the layout because they're not all the same shape, size, or anything, and they're nested within each other.
Yes, so we worked on a 2D plan in our 2D software, AutoCAD, to draw up kind of a floor plan over top of the island to get them placed, and then I took them into 3D software SketchUp to make sure that they weren't hitting each other based on their shape, and it gave varying heights, and so we could see it before we had them finally install it.
It was tough.
It was.
But what an amazing job she did.
Yes.
Even if she now will live on your left. And this is the kitchen. And in a project like this, the kitchen had to be incredible. Which it is, and that's maybe because we designed it 3 times. No, but really we did. So we showed the client one plan, and then we literally sent all the specs to the builder, and then she said, I just want to try something different. We did it again, all the specs to the builder, and then we did it again, which is funny because the way it ended up was actually the first concept that we presented. So here we are, meant to be, right? A little bit of torture later, even though we do really, really love these clients, lifelong friends. So the way we ended up in this kitchen was very much the old house made new concept, and we carried off that look by integrating the cabinetry with plaster frames, which is something that you see in old European buildings. It's really, really beautiful, and also incredibly hard to do. We had to have so many vendors working together, the plaster vendor, the cabinet vendor, the builder, meetings. It was tough. Do not recommend, but it is gorgeous. And then here's a little surprise about this kitchen. These cabinets aren't really wood, and you would never, ever, ever know that. They're a product called Quercus that was sourced by Burdette Cabinetry. And the clients really wanted wood cabinets, but they didn't want the upkeep, the mess. They wanted something that would really stand up to life and kids and fun. And this is where we landed. But of course, we had to make things even harder, which I truly excel at doing. And we designed custom cabinet hardware. Each of these were custom designed and made, so you can't just buy them, but they are very chic. And so all of the cabinetry is disguising all of the function of the kitchen. Trash drawers are hidden, everything is hidden, which is how we like it, which also helps it look like an old house. So over here we have refrigerators and freezers hidden to make them look really beautiful. And down below we make it look like drawers. It isn't, but it makes the cabinetry design a little bit more elevated. And then the client really wanted an antique reclaimed sink. And so we found this beautiful trough from Studio Resource, turned it into a sink, added an iron base, and double faucets that we imported from Copenhagen. Did I mention the builders are kind of tired of me? That's not really true. And actually, a surprise, this whole kitchen started with a pizza oven because the clients love pizza. Who doesn't, right? But this pizza oven was really, really tough. It is 60 inches deep, which is enormous. It's like 2 runs of cabinetry plus a half a run of cabinetry. And so we were like, okay, how are we going to hide that? What are we going to do? So actually in the back side, the pantry has some doors that hide the back for access, but it goes back the full 5 feet. And it just all ends up this tiny little pizza door in this beautiful stone wall that was really, really tough. And it actually is a gas pizza oven, but aesthetics matter, and there was nothing else to do down here, so we added a little niche for logs. So it would look like, you know, you could possibly cook your pizza with a wood fire. And these doors right here go to the pantry, which is great and enormous. You'll see it soon. And the wall here behind me is stone, but it's not real stone. It's horizon stone. And we fell in love with it on the home of Amber Lewis of Amber Interiors and put it to use here. The stove is Ilve, the faucet is water stone, the hood is 6'3" so that the homeowner can stand exactly underneath it and cook and not hit his head. The pantry really functions as both a pantry and a back kitchen. It has a lot of function in it. The cabinets are hiding dishwashers, fridge drawers, an ice maker, and a full-size refrigerator and freezer, along with additional ovens. This house is obviously of great size, and it's meant for great big gatherings and a great big family. And so all of these shelves here were meant to hold food to feed everyone, and lots of cabinet and counter space to get big meals ready. So this is the stair hall, and come with me. I want to show you something that we always do in our projects that I think sets us apart from the rest. We do these crazy gallery walls that really implement a lot of the clients' mementos. And so I ask for them to send me a box of anything that they love and they have that they cannot get rid of. And invariably, we can turn that into incredible art. So here you can see branding irons from the client's grandfather's ranch. We have a map that they collected during their travels together. Her grandfather's cowboy hat, which is like so sweet, a napkin from his ranch. Everything on here is just something that means a lot to them. And then there's this great photo of the grandparents dancing together. And then just to really set it all off, we have his saddle, which I love. Here in the stair hall, we needed a major light fixture to stand up to all of this cavernous space and this double height board form concrete wall. So we had the idea for a multi-tier crazy chandelier, and then I had Shae help me make it come true. Do you remember what we did?
Yes, so it started in 2D to make sure that we got the scale correct for the room. So getting it wide enough and making sure that it would come from both levels. And then we put that into 3D to really articulate to the fabricator, Patina Yard, on how each arch would fall within each other, but not touching each other. And it turned out beautiful.
It did. Patina Yard made this for us. It was custom, of course. And we love it. It really fills up the space 2 levels high.
Yep.
Welcome to the craft room, which is actually my favorite room in the house, which no one sees coming. But it's the room that I don't have in my house, and very few people do. But it's this really beautiful, calming, quiet, generous space that gives you so much room to be really creative, spread out, and do whatever inspires you. Our client really loves to sew, so we have the in-wall ironing board, which didn't exactly work out as planned. I planned a hidden hinge and a completely invisible ironing board, and there it is. And then also she really likes to quilt, so we gave her a generous island to spread out on, to do her tufting. And then she has spaces for 4 sewing machines, so all of her daughters can join her and they can make those family heirlooms together. I need someone to slide me so I can pretend that I'm Belle in Beauty and the Beast. But the ladder is, of course, really functional and also totally gorgeous. And then I also really love in this room the light. There's something magical about it. None of us can quite figure it out, but it's definitely there. Something about the corner window and, of course, the double height window. This is the powder bath, the main powder bath. A house like this has a few, but I really love it. It's probably my favorite bathroom, or at least this hour, because I saw the idea for this sink through a restaurant window in London. And it really honestly looked nothing like this, but it was different pieces of stone and metal brought together. And it was really kind of old-fashioned, but it gave me the idea for something really modern that was really hard to put together, but AFT pulled it off. And then we designed this gorgeous suspended mirror to go with it. We have a light fixture from Apparatus Studio, and then incredible wood inlay on the walls, which is stunner. And I have to tell you about the painting. I really love art. To me, it's one of the most important things in a home. And I really fight hard to get some original art in every home, even if it is inexpensive. This was by Lauren Yagoda, who is a local artist, a big talent, not inexpensive, but incredibly special. And she actually painted it just for this project. So this is the kids' hallway. It leads to all the kids' bedrooms. And we're actually not going to show you those because they wanted to design them themselves, teenagers. But I do want to tell you about this beautiful hallway and the beams we designed on the incredible vintage light fixtures because they're a wow. The beams actually look old. They're not. They're new. But we had an excellent finisher to really give them some age. And then the walls are plaster, which makes all the difference. And the light fixtures are vintage, which is the secret.
This is the casita, second kitchen of 4.5 in this house.
In the casita kitchen, we tiled the island, and we did it for a really careful reason, right, Joanna?
Yeah, so when kids are sitting there and they're kicking, it won't make any marks.
Looks good and functional, which matters. And then also in this casita kitchen, we designed this great hood surround, which really gives a lot of statue form to the room and grounds it so it doesn't feel like this great vaulted floating kitchen. And then we plastered it so that it can be beautiful. Okay, so one of the things in this house that totally blows people's minds, besides the size, is this fireplace. And you're probably like, why? It's just wood, but it isn't actually wood, because if it was wood, it would catch fire. It's not up to code if it was wood. So it's actually board-formed concrete, which gave it this really great, perfect, honestly, texture. And then we had a true genius of a decorative painter come in and finish it so that you would never ever know that it is not wood. And then we designed the steel surround in the center just to trim it out perfectly. Casita bedroom, she's very pretty. Come on with me. I want to show you the bathroom and this nuts shower that we designed. The casita shower is big enough for the whole family. But very cool. Important thing to do in a casita shower, always, especially if you're thinking of aging in place with parents, is to make sure you have a zero entry shower. No curves. So in the basement, we have the game room, the dollhouse, the playhouse, and a lot of storage. We also have this incredible painting that Eric Stefanski, the artist, painted custom for the clients with all their first names, so everyone feels right at home. This is the game room, and in the game room, we started right here. What's more fun than a giant leather swing? Very few things, I'd say. I hope it doesn't fall out the ceiling. So, also in this game room, we have a walkout basement, which is really cool because it brings a lot of light into what's normally a dark space. And out there are 2 fire pits and a fountain, so it's a space you'll actually use, which we love. And then we have to have a TV. You know, you gotta have one. I don't love them, but I guess it's the function of a game room. So in the game room, we have a sectional that is actually hiding 2 recliners on the end, so all the boys are happy. And then we also have an amazing kitchen that I really love. We designed this totally insane light fixture that has brass tips and traverses the ceiling. We have a low ceiling, we're in a basement, but I wanted to make it interesting, and so that's why we did that. Kind of interesting to think about it that way. And then the clients really wanted to have countertops down here that they didn't have to think about, that the kids could do whatever they wanted. So this is sapien stone, macchia vecchia, it's porcelain, and they could probably kill it, but they'd have to try really hard. And then in the kitchen, we did one of my favorite things, which is mixed finishes on cabinetry. So we have wood grain black lowers, we have some metal uppers, always cool. We have a white fridge tower, black shelving, and then this backsplash that I was so excited to see come to life because we inlaid strips of brass into subway tile to really just blow people's minds. This is the Waterstone modern wheel faucet. It is so cool. Everyone likes to say faucets are jewelry, which they are, but this one really, really is. So I think the clients envisioned many, many gatherings, many, many people, and really were focused on having a lot of places to sit. So we have a 23-foot long built-in banquette that we did leather straps, custom plaid cushions, a little vegan leather seat right here. You know that just means like pleather, right? Vegan leather. And then we did these little bolsters as arm cushions. And then you'll notice here, like none of the upholstery matches, but it really keeps the things more interesting. And then we had planned for this wall up here, where we have the beautiful board and batten breaking up drywall. We had planned to do another family photo gallery wall. But the client came to me and had this map of the world. It is 21 feet long, and asked if we could find a place for it. And I knew just the spot, and here it is today. It had to be craned into the basement, over the fountain by many people. It was hard, but it sure looks great. The game room powder is one of my favorites. It has so much texture, brick walls, a really incredible copper faucet, and a sink and steel vanity wall that was inspired by a shop in London. So I've always dreamed of designing one of these doll houses, and we really got to do it here, and it was so much fun. So I think the fun part about a dollhouse inside of a house is to make it look like the exterior of the home that it's in. And so we did that. This has the metal roof that we have outside. You can see the white painted brick. And we even had Bevelo make us a custom itty bitty copper lantern. And then inside, behind this itty bitty teeny tiny very cute Dutch door, we have a really cute kitchen set up, even with an awning, little pots and pans. Playtime for hours. We even did carpet so that little kids can sit on the floor, be on their hands and knees, and not be uncomfortable. Oh! This is the trampoline barn, which is the most fun thing in the history of time. It has a couple Olympic-sized trampolines and a skate ramp. And we made it look like an old barn with wood all over the walls, exposed ducting, and then these really incredible light fixtures that we found. And then my favorite feature are all the ways that you can make trampoline even more fun than it already was. So there's ropes to jump on, basketball hoops that you can dunk on, even a surfboard. The trampoline barn also has this great snack bar, because it's kind of far from the main house, so you want to be ready for treats. And we have a refrigerator, we have drinks, we're ready for fun. In the trampoline barn powder bath, save that 3 times fast, which is also one of my favorites, but I keep saying that. We have an incredible vintage light fixture, which is maybe my favorite one in the whole house, and then a vintage swimsuit, along with beautiful wall tile, wood paneling, and a lot of extras for that trampoline barn life. And this is probably the very best part of Project Blow Your Mind, but it's the outdoor pool. It has the lazy river, which you can hear beckoning us behind me, a volleyball pool, a diving platform, and that back wall lights up in fire. And there's a couple hidden fountains, a swim-through grotto, not to mention the RV garage with a separate apartment, the wiffle ball field, and the tennis courts. All these things here at one private home in Gilbert, Arizona. Thank you so much for joining us for our YouTube debut. This is Project Blow Your Mind, and I am Jaimee Rose. See you next time.